You're listening to WayJ, Grand Junction's OG Waylon Jordan, with on-demand content from Town Square Media's 99.9 KEKB in Grand Junction, Colorado. 99.9 KEKB, the Grand Valley's #1 for new country. On the phone with Walker Hayes. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, my man. Good to talk to you.
May I ask where you're at right now?
Yeah, I'm at my house. I actually just watched my episode of my family on Family Feud on Hulu.
Right.
We were on Family Feud last night, and we won, and it was awesome to see my wife and some of my teammates on that show. We're big fans.
All right, so you're home now, but you're out there on tour. Matter of fact, you are going to be in Tulsa coming up on Friday. Then August 15th, coming to Grand Junction, Colorado, the AMP at Las Colonias. How's the tour going?
Man, it's the best show I've ever done, which I guess, you would hope an artist would always say that, I guess, because we were always trying to improve from year to year. But my drummer, his name is Luke DeJane, and he designed my entire tour, and it's phenomenal. It includes my two little girls, my oldest daughter. She's a dancer in the tour. My two little girls sing a few songs with me. We have dancers. We have cryo. The lights are incredible. And just the emotional range of the show is pretty wide. I mean, it gets really, really powerful and intimate, and then it goes to just very, very energetic and enthusiastic. And you can we just read it on the crowd's faces each night. It's been the most fun summer we've had yet.
And when you mentioned the kids, you have a total of 6 children. Is that correct?
Yeah, which I'm AKA too many.
Okay, but are they all on tour with you?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's the if you ask me to count my blessings, one of the first ones that I count is that I'm able to take my family on the road. This is a job that I for right or wrong would not do by myself anymore at this point. I've achieved everything I wanted to in this business, and I love that I get to do it for my job, but I also just love that I get to be with my family. I get to take them to work, and they're all a part of it in some way, form, or fashion, and it's just a blast. The bus picks us up every Wednesday and drops us off back at the house every Sunday or Monday.
Well, let me tell you, you and the family, you're in for a special treat when you hit Grand Junction. You're going to love the AMP at Las Colonias. Incredible concert venue. We're looking forward to seeing you. That is coming up August 15th, the AMP at Las Colonias, Walker Hayes. Tickets available right now, Ticketmaster.com, and check out the KEKB free mobile app for your chance to win a pair of tickets. 99.9 KEKB, the Grand Valley's #1 for new country. On the phone with Walker Hayes, coming to the AMP at Las Colonias August 15th. Out there on the road, we're coming up here. Well, this week, you're going to be in Tulsa. Later in August, hitting New York. This sounds like a very busy time in your life. What's going on?
Oh yeah, man! This is tour season. This is when I get the bills paid, and my family and I have a wonderful time, a wonderful summer. It's been busy, but busy is such a blessing to me. We're grateful for the work, and we're grateful that people are just filling up these venues, and have been filling up these venues all summer. The crowds have been phenomenal, and the show just gets better and better each night.
Well, I think you're in for a real treat August 15th when you come to the AMP at Las Colonias in Grand Junction. I think you'll love the venue. I hope you get a chance to explore the town. But when it comes to staying busy, I really wanted to ask you this for some time. So during your college days, you actually are a pianist. You majored in piano. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have a degree in music with emphasis on the piano.
So if you were doing that in college, that means you would have been playing a recital or accompanying somebody probably 7 days a week, because I'm a little familiar with that. You had to have been busy.
Yes, it was busy. A lot of sight reading, a lot of theory, musical theory classes, a lot of composition classes. Even was forced to take a conducting class as part of my major, and I got to tell you, I absolutely loved it. I loved every second of anything I ever learned in music. I truly wish that I had a need for some of the skills that I obtained in college, taking those classes and performing those recitals. Unfortunately, Nashville works by a chart system, so it's much simpler and much more basic compared to reading, just normal music notation. But yeah, I love the piano. Unfortunately, the piano is a little harder to lug around, and so when I moved to Nashville, I picked up the guitar and sadly never looked back. However, I do teach, my kids. Not routinely, but anything they've ever wanted to learn on piano, I've taught them, and I play a couple songs on the piano during my show. But I don't really showcase that. I've written a lot of songs at the piano, so that's really come in handy. And there's no telling how useful, everything I learned in college has been. It's just that was classical training, and I'm a country songwriter. So they're two very different styles.
Well, and I noticed that about your personality, though. So I know you enjoy singing opera, but is this still true, what I'm about to say right now? Do you own simultaneously a Hummer and a Prius?
Yeah, but that's my dad's fault. He died 3 years ago, and he was a conundrum. I mean, he was a paradox. He was a confusing human in a very lighthearted way. He never really made a lot of sense, but he made a massive impact on the world, I guess is the best way I can put it. And he had a Hummer. I mean, he attended events called Hummer Happenings where him and a bunch of folks with Hummers would just take him off-road and put him to the test. And before he died, my sister and my mother took his keys, and he went and bought a Prius, which is, everybody knows that is the absolute opposite car of a Hummer. A Hummer eats gas, takes up a lot of space, is loud and obnoxious and gaudy, if you will. And then there's a Prius, which is the simplest form of a car I think you can purchase. It's environmentally friendly. I think it gets almost 60 miles to the gallon. And honestly, that characteristic you described, having a Hummer and a Prius, that describes my father. I mean, that's just who he was. And so when he died, my mom gave us those cars. She wanted them out of her driveway. And so my 16-year-old and I share the Prius. The Hummer typically just sits in the driveway unless we are pulling the boat or something like that. But that's a wonderful question, and truly it gives me great feelings to answer that question about my father, because I'm a huge fan of his, and he was by far my biggest supporter throughout my entire life.
We're on the phone with Walker Hayes, and he and the entire family coming to Grand Junction August 15th, the AMP at Las Colonias. Tickets available right now at Ticketmaster.com, and keep your ears open for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Walker Hayes. Stay tuned to the KEKB free mobile app. Walker Hayes, how you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Great to talk to you.
I appreciate you taking time out to talk with us. Now, your career is just absolutely incredible. You're coming up on you're going to be 45 this December?
I will. December 27th. I said halfway to 90.
Okay. That's one good way to look at it. Now, you being a family man, are you the youngest of 9 kids?
Yes, sir. I'm the last of 9 children. I come from a blended family. My father, in his previous marriage, he had 3 girls and 1 boy. And my mother, in her previous marriage, had 3 boys and 1 girl. So, and then they were married, and then they had me. And so there's 5 boys and 4 girls.
I see. So you, as a father of 6, it just seemed natural to you?
Yeah. I'm honestly, growing up, I was closer to my nieces and nephews than I would say I was my siblings. I love my siblings very much. I just was closer in age to a lot of my nieces and nephews.
I see.
And when Lainey and I got married, I was the kids. Having kids around. I grew up, I was a camp counselor for a lot of my adolescent years, late teenage years, early 20s. That's what I did as a job. And we just wanted a bigger family, and so did Lainey. I'm not sure where we calculated 6, but I don't know if we would have gone that high, but we just never stopped. So here we are.
So Walker Hayes, you, your wife, and your 6 kids, you're all out there on the road touring together. Your kids are part of the tour, part of the show. May I ask how?
Yes, sir. My 2 youngest daughters, they sing a few songs with me. They sing Father Time and Ball Player, those 2 songs. And then my oldest daughter, who's 18 now, her name is Leela. She is the one from the famous Fancy Like Dance, the original Fancy Like Dance. And she actually helped me choreograph that. And so she and 3 other dancers dance with us. And then my sons, one of my sons is kind of a graphic designer / artist. And he's designed a little bit of merch. Another one sells bracelets and necklaces out there at merch. And so everybody kind of, plays their part. Some have smaller parts than others, but it's a family affair for sure. And we also bring the dogs. We have 4 dogs that come out with us, and we go everywhere, man. Just a big traveling family.
And so when it comes to music and the family, is this true? I read this about you. Please tell me if this is true. Did you make all your children memorize the lyrics to The Impossible Dream?
Yes, I am amazed that you know a few things about me. That I've never been asked these things, but yes, you and I have talked about my dad before. He was basically Don Quixote from the play Man of La Mancha. That he could have played that character any day of the week, and he could sing just like him. And when I was a child, my dad, I just lived hearing him sing that song, and the lyrics to that song are absolutely remarkable. It could quite possibly be, in my opinion, the greatest song of all time. And so as my kids were growing up, I agreed that I would invest in any of their dreams if they would learn the lyrics to that song and be able to recite it back to me. Some of them can sing it back to me, but yes, even my 8-year-old daughter knows every word to that song, The Impossible Dream.
Have you thought about incorporating it in the show?
I absolutely have, and I will tell you this too. I am actually working on a musical right now. It's called Scarecrow, and I'm working on it with Shane McAnally and Brandy Clark. And I would absolutely stop touring, walk from country music, and take a hiatus if I got any part into play or any way of being involved with something like that, a musical, or especially, Man of La Mancha. But I have thought about maybe just interjecting a little bit of that, or maybe letting the girls sing it on tour. But I do know most of my fans would be like, what in the world? What is this?
Well, Elvis used to pull it off at his shows, and it'd bring the house down. I think it'd be a great idea for you.
Did he really?
Oh, yeah.
No way. I had no idea that Elvis sang that song. It is a beautiful, beautiful song. I think everybody listening right now should go look up The Impossible Dream.
Well, it's an incredible tune, as is Man of La Mancha, and it gives you goosebumps every single time. It works every time.
It does. It's a great, great story, and you just fall in love with the main character. He's just so lovable and against the whole grain.
Mm-hmm. Speaking with Walker Hayes, coming to Grand Junction August 15th at the Amp. So on that note right there, talking about musicals, you're saying you would like to do that. Actually, at one point in time, were you not one of the finalists for the musical Bright Star by Steve Martin? Can you tell me about that?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, I was. I was actually, I was kind of at my wit's end. My wife and I had been in Nashville for 15 plus years. I didn't know where my career was going. We had no money. I was working at Costco every morning. I would clock in at Costco at 4 in the morning and then work till 11, and then I would go write songs, and then I'd go play a show at night if I could, just to get some food for the family, because usually I would play at a restaurant where they would give us some food. But I got a call from my booking agent, who, thank goodness, his name is Aaron Tannenbaum, and he was still looking for opportunities for me, and he believed in me, and he got me an audition for Steve Martin's first musical that he had written called Bright Star. And over the course of about 6 weeks, my wife and I would work late into the night doing audition tapes. She would hold, I remember we had just had our sixth kid, she would hold Everly up in one arm and then hold the phone in the other in video, and she would read the lines and then I would read them back, and sometimes Everly would start crying and we would have to start the video over, but somehow I made it to the final three people, and I remember I had to take off time from Costco just to fly to New York on a weekend to do the audition, and my supervisor, I remember he didn't believe it. He wasn't going to believe me. I was like, no, I'm flying to New York, to audition for this play. But sadly, I did not get the part. It was heartbreaking. It was devastating because it was somewhat of a last thread that we thought we were holding on to. And the experience was incredible. I mean, I get goosebumps remembering the hope that we had. My wife and I just thought that maybe this is it. Maybe this is where you're supposed to be in this music business. And then when we heard that I didn't get it, it truly was devastating. That was the one time in my career where I saw my wife physically upset, sharing in the heartbreak with me. Most of the time, 99.9% of the time, Lainey was always the one saying, hey, it's going to be okay. You belong here. You're so talented. I believe in you. I'm going to be shocked if you never, find a door in this industry. But when that happened, she really was affected, and I hated that because usually I kept my heartbreaks to myself, and I could just plug away, just get back up and try something else. But that was one of the almost that nearly killed us. It was really, really tough. But I'm grateful for the story. I don't think the play survives very long on Broadway, so that was a silver lining, but it was an amazing experience. And again, if Steve Martin called today, I would literally walk off this porch and go audition immediately.
On the phone with Walker Hayes. Greatly appreciate your time this morning. Coming to town, coming to Grand Junction to the AMP at Las Colonias, August 15th. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. That's Ticketmaster.com. Or keep your ears open, keep your eyes on the KEKB free mobile app. Your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Walker Hayes August 15th.